Hi, this is Tori. I know, it's been a very long time, so I want to do a recap of the past 2 months with you guys.
Every piece of my muscles are hurting, and every piece of my bones are hurting.
It's like all the inner peace and stability just collapsed in that one night.
This is the third time I've cried in this whole fucking week.
I guess roller coaster doesn't even begin to describe it. We need to go back to the beginning when I started my own small business selling handmade candles. There were already a shit ton of challenges before the release, but compared to what was about to come, those things just fade into the background like the AC running in a nightclub that plays death metal or something. Yes, as you have probably already guessed, a major fuck up and its rippling effects are on the way. So I started selling after 6 months of trial and errors. It was crazy exciting for me. I imagined selling all my stocks in the first day. That didn't happen, which is okay, but if you have been through something huge like this, your family, your friends, they give you this unrealistic confidence and anticipation that makes you think you can achieve anything in the world. Instead, it was this slow and agonizing wait for an order to come in. There were moments I felt like I was the dog, Hatchie, eagerly waiting to give my love to someone for a pat on the back, But still, it sold pretty good, thanks to your support, by the way. Steady, but slow. Now, to get to the major fuck up, you need a general understanding of what it takes to run a self-sufficient business. You buy materials from different suppliers and to manufacture your own products. You try different suppliers for the same materials to choose the best version in an affordable price range. That's exactly what I do. And turns out, you can be self-sufficient as you can, but one of your suppliers can just suddenly take control and ruin your life. As I started to confidently ship out my orders, the first few dozens of customers started to receive their packages. As I was being so grateful that everything is going good, unexpected news came from one of my friends that was testing for me that wax was leaking out of the container. Out of the same brand of containers that I personally tried and burnt candles in for over 100 times. The same container that I did some ridiculous tests like burning for 10 hours straight. Because of how thorough I did the testings beforehand, I just brushed it off as a one-time thing. But as we all know by now, that's not the fucking case. Because 2 weeks later, a paying customer tells me that her candle is leaking. The photo she sent me, it was like seeing an actual ghost. You've heard of things like this, but you never think it's gonna happen to you.
I feel scammed. I feel cheated. Like it's not even supposed to be this big of a deal, but so far we've had 3 leaks. And I feel like this is the hardest thing I have ever had to do. This anxiety is just not for me. This is the third time I've cried in this whole fucking week. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
You see, when you buy supplies, you can't buy like 2,000 containers or 500 candle wicks. That kind of number is for testing and sampling. You have to buy thousands and tens of thousands of the same material in order to customize them for your own brand. My apartment still is filled with shipping boxes of different supplies, including over 20 boxes of this now leaking container. The thing was, the samples I tested in were sealed shut with some kind of chemical glue, but the big batch I ordered as my product material, who knows? So even though most of the orders turned out fine after I asked around, but I just didn't want to risk it. It was like some kind of bad lottery. Out of 100 customers, the one that wins a leaky candle and think their hard-earned money went to this shit show. I had no option but to stop selling. This was the only decent thing to do, both for my paying customers and for my own mental health. I was losing sleep. I was sad and anxious all the time, questioning my judgment, questioning my life even. It's like all the inner peace and the stability just collapsed in that one night. There's this voice in my head that says, it's okay. You are taking this way too seriously than necessary. But then there's this other voice in my head that says, I just want to cry and blame the whole world. Stopping the sales meant that all the containers and wicks, which I already spent most of my life savings on, are no longer usable. And all the stocks are just a waste of space and money now. But at the same time, orders were coming. I had to explain to everyone what was going on, how they need to wait for a long time for me to get back on my feet, and TikTok. For a whole week, during the days I was in crisis mode, trying to solve the problem, and during the nights, battling the anxiety of being broke 10 days into my new business. It was a chaos dancing party of rationality and sensibility. Every time someone asked when can I ship out their order, tears would roll up in my eyes.
FOMO.
But one thing that supported me is that mostly people are pretty understanding. And there were even people telling me to relax because the same thing happened with their business. The suppliers can give their best samples, and then when it comes to the big batch, they slack off with the quality, which is equally ridiculous. After weeks of emotional and financial torture, which includes trying every possible solution there is, like the ridiculous 2-container strategy, where I thought I could place a tin cup inside and the ones I have as a protective layer on the outside. Don't even get me started on the hideous containers I bought, thinking one of them might work. And finally, I found a new factory that can customize and deliver new containers in a relatively short time that have the perfect quality. But new container means a whole new series of testing, new wick sizes and all that jazz, but that was what's necessary. On top of being in debt, the long wait for the new container was a new kind of torture. I had to sample first to see if the containers can do the job. It takes more than a week. Then for the big batch to arrive, another 2 weeks. Like, it sounds like nothing, but oh, the anxiety just ate me up. Meditation was out of the window because every time I sat quietly, I wanted to cry. My debt doubled, my delivery time tripled, and the work I had to do, I don't know, quadrupled. And on top of all those, I thought I could settle things down by the end of 2021 and get back on here making contents, and the universe was like, ha, you wish. But anyway, to end all that venting, the one good thing that came out of all this chaos and tears is that this was a chance to upgrade. a whole new texture, a whole new line of colors, new wicks, and better burning qualities, which I guess is not entirely a lose. I sent all the customers that bought the old, potentially leaking candles new ones. For the people who waited for the new batch for 20 long days, I gifted them a new one as an apology. This was the best possible way I could think of to deal with this crisis. At the end, it all worked out, I guess. I'm still in like 100,000 yuan worth of debt, and the containers are still sitting in my living room in piles. They stare at me all day and remind me of this valuable lesson every day. You just have to compose yourself and solve the problem. Sometimes this is what you have to deal with when you start a business, but I guess in life too. We like to unconsciously take things too emotionally serious when in fact all you have to do is to solve the problem, not clinging to how things hurt your feelings. I have the good product, the support of my family and friends, like you guys, and I have the confidence to get back on my feet again. Now that things are finally back on track, I could get back to making contents. If you have any suggestions as to what should I talk about, maybe leave them in the comments. Yeah, thanks for listening to my venting. See you in the next video.